Good morning, St. Francis. Good morning, people of God. It is Friday, the 24th day of November, 2023, Friday of the 33rd week of the year, the 33rd week in Ordinary Time. It is also, because it's the 24th day of November, 1 month until Christmas Eve, just in case your calendars and your planning schedules are not yet put together. Just remember there's 1 month left until Christmas Eve today. Today, we also remember Andrew Dung-Lac and his companions, the Martyrs of Vietnam. Again, Andrew, who was martyred in the 1800s, suffered under one of the persecutions that Christianity experienced throughout Asia during this time period. Again, Christianity not necessarily being always innocent and just a victim of these kinds of things. They may have approached the spreading of the gospel and evangelization in ways that were not necessarily conscious or cognizant of the culture and the people of the time, and might have caused a little bit more of a dilemma and consternation in the presentation of the faith. So we remember him, remember all of those who were martyred during the time period that Christianity was establishing itself in Asia and in the church in Vietnam even today. It is the day after Thanksgiving, so hopefully everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving day. We have the most enormous dog right over here in our little reflection today. As he is just lying down here in the cool air after having enjoyed Thanksgiving himself. Our readings for today, again, continue with the book of Maccabees. We do not cover the great battle that happens after Mattathias and his sons, Judas and his brothers, basically overwhelm Antiochus and his armies and drive the Greeks out of Israel. And so there is great victory, and Israel is able to reclaim itself, its faith, its religion, its practices. And so this is a whole passage on the rededication of the temple and how it was taken back from the profanities that the Greeks and the Gentiles and the non-Jews had created the temple into becoming while Antiochus was king. And within this is described everything that they did to bring the temple back to itself again. It was rededicated with gold and with ornaments and things like that. Rededicated on the 25th day of the month of Kislev, or Chislev, depends on how you pronounce it. But this is the origins of Hanukkah, within the book of Maccabees, which is, again, more than just a celebration of lighting candles. It is a celebration of taking back, what was taken away from Judaism and was taken away from the Jewish people, from the Israelites, because of the persecutions and the ideals of these Greek leaders who never should have done what they did in the first place. And so it's brought back again into its fullness, and we hear of the origins now of a dedication festival, which continues even today in the Jewish calendar. In the Gospels today, we have an interesting link because it is now Jesus in Luke's Gospel driving out the money changers from the temple, basically saying to those money changers that this is not a business place, that this is a place of God, and that this is a place that is the Lord's house, and not a place basically to make money. There's always, again, biblical scholars go around and around and around with this reading about, again, what was actually wrong with doing this, because you went to the temple to do offerings, and you needed to purchase the offering to have it done. And sometimes, again, you had people selling things to be offered there, and a variety of kinds of things, again, from doves to goats to oxen to sheep to whatever it is. And sometimes, again, that was necessary, to be able to do that. The problem is again, cheating the poor and cheating those who might not have had enough money to truly bring the offering that the law required them to bring to the temple and to the altar. And so, again, these money changers more concerned with making money and with their own profits than with, again, what was being done at God's house, what was being done at the temple. Again, we still have the same thing today with our own collections, and how it is that we try to understand the role of a collection at Mass. Again, should it happen? Should it not happen? Should it be just something that is separate, from all of this? Again, a church that is constantly criticized for being consumed with money and wealth and its finance, again, needs to be very careful, again, about how it uses, its money, how it uses its wealth, how it uses even the sense of money and wealth in its practice, in its rituals, and what must be brought together so that God may be worshipped appropriately and the people may benefit from that worship. If it is just about making sure that people make a buck in the end, then we have to really reconsider again, what is it that we're doing and what is it that we are about as believers in this world. And so a good lesson to learn. Again, the temple is dedicated in that first reading because it is bringing back again the identity that was lost by the Jewish people because of the incursions of the Greeks into Israel. In the gospel today, it is remembering why that temple exists, why there are these places in which we gather, and why there are places that we can use to be able to remember ourselves as a people of God. We should not let, again, the world and its own understandings get in the way of those gathering places, but allow them to serve their rightful purpose and be able to bring us into that glory that is God's. A blessed day, St. Francis and people of God. And there is a little puppy over there. May the Lord give you his peace.